Crypto Empire? Welcome back to the stream. This is where we dominate the crypto market. Anyways, we were just talking about, or at least I was talking to myself, how the Federal Reserve actually didn't cut any rates, okay? We are still at the same federal funds rate that we've been at, 4.5%, okay? So no cuts. Now this FOMC, it's always been around what Jerome Powell was going to say in this press conference, all right? We already knew there was heavy expectations. The Fed made it clear at the end of 2024 that there was going to be no cuts this FOMC in January, and here we have it. It is 2:01 p.m. now, 1 minute after this data release, and there are no changes, okay? So as you can see, the press conference will start at 2:30 p.m., and it's going to be really important to hear what Jerome Powell has to say here, because if he does have a dovish point of view, and if he basically insinuates that the Fed is going to start cutting rates here in March, which is heavily expected. Remember, we also have Trump in the White House now. And in my opinion, Trump is probably going to intervene and want to cut rates because he wants to see the markets flourish under his presidency. He has a very big ego, and he measures his performance in terms of the overall market performance, the U.S. markets, right? Stocks, and also he's made Bitcoin a main talking point. So anyways, no changes with the interest rate cuts as of right now. And let's take a look at what's happening with the market. So being that it's priced in that there was going to be no cuts today, okay? We already had a ton of volatility to start the week. As you can see, nothing is really happening in the current moment in time on the Bitcoin chart, as well as many alts. All right, things are not really moving too much. Price is starting to move lower now. Instantly on the reaction of the data release that there's been no interest rate hikes or cuts. It's staying flat. It is staying paused right now. So for Bitcoin, nothing has really changed too much. Now, obviously, we did get the test of $100,000. We went as low as 97,000, depending on what exchange you're looking at. 97,700 here on Coinbase, for example, was 97.7K. There was a really positive reaction from that 100K support level, and that is still the line in the sand for Bitcoin. And the fact that it's still holding above it means that we're bullish. The real carnage has been happening in altcoins, and that's been very clear. It's been a tough cycle for altcoins. It's been very different for altcoins this cycle. But I do believe that the patience is going to pay off, and they're going to be calling many people lucky over the next few months. In 2025, a lot of people are going to be saying, oh, you guys got lucky with altcoins. But for now, it is more pain and carnage. And we'll talk about altcoins a lot in this live stream. But all you need to know for Bitcoin at the current moment in time is above 100K, there's no reason to stress or panic. Below 100K, well, we simply don't want to see that happen. And if it does happen, we could be expecting lower prices of the bottom of the previous ranges in the low $90,000. It will likely lead to more downwards continuation if this 100K level is actually lost. We do have a falling wedge forming here. I remain optimistic. I do remain bullish that Bitcoin will hold 100K. And it's doing a great job doing so at the current moment in time. But anyways, again, with FOMC, no cuts, no hikes, just another pause leading into now March 2025 with this next FOMC meeting. And of course, we do have the press conference today at 2:30 p.m. in around 25 minutes. And let's hear what Jay Powell has to say. Now, shout out to everyone here in our live chat. We got Johnny G, we got Elvis, we got Dre, we got OB1, we got H+, we got HK Ben. We got live and local. Shout out to everyone here. Bartland, what is going on, everyone? People saying that they're expecting prices to dump further right now. And the thing is, many of these coins have experienced total resets of the entire board, okay? Let's go over some of the more popular ones, the larger market cap meme coins. Looking at the overall market right now, the real carnage happened on Monday or Sunday evening leading into Monday. And, prices have hit major levels after significant drops. So now people are expecting more dumps. That's typically not how it works. after a large amount of damage has been done, right? For example, here on Pepe, it lost support over here at 1700 and it dropped all the way back down to around 1100, which is pretty close to the election day prices, as you can see on November 4th, election day. Not too far off now, and we're essentially back inside of this previous range with the highs again at around 1200 here. Okay, so a lot of these alts, dog with the hat, for example, some big news coming out with WIF, coming all the way back down to $1, lower than election day prices. A lot of people expecting more carnage now. I think going with the contrary would be the correct move after such a crazy essentially start to this week where we saw major price declines. The expectation of now continuation to the downside with Bitcoin still holding above 100K, in my view, is not the correct way to look at the market right now. I would be essentially looking for prices to either hold their support levels that they've currently retraced to or begin to start a bit of a recovery rally, or at least a recovery bounce from here. So I understand the emotions around things right now. People expecting more dumping on alts, lower prices. But after such a large decline, a mean reversion back up to the upside is certainly in order for many of these assets. And going back to Pepe, for example, right? This is not, essentially the time to be bearish was like last week. It's just not the time to be bearish anymore, in my opinion. With how things have progressed to start this week. Now, again, with the Fed pausing cuts, not doing anything now until March, a lot is going to reside on what Jerome Powell does have to say at 2:30. And if he states that the Federal Reserve is going to have a dovish point of view and aggressively cut rates this year and kind of take back what he said at the end of 2024 with only 3 cuts this year, we could see a very large recovery ensue for these coins. But again, after such large retracements to start this week, I think it is highly unlikely we do see more downside continuation. And if we do see more downside continuation, well, it's just bigger bargains because a lot of these coins will recover. Many won't, but many will. So it's important to pick, of course, the winners. Yusuf says short or long. So in terms of active trading at the current moment in time, I look at it more as gambling because a lot is going to reside on what Jay Powell has to say at 2:30. So I'm flat at the moment with like active trading. And I'm really looking for 100K to hold on BTC. But if I was going to be positioned right now actively, it would be to the long side personally. Right, for example, looking at the render price chart, now coming back down to a very crucial support level close to $5. Tau is holding really well as an AI coin, still holding around $450, right at the daily 200 EMA. We did have a sweep of Monday's high earlier, and we'll see now if this does result in a sweep of Monday's low at 383, which would be an amazing opportunity for Tau going into the dynamic Tau launch in the middle of February. But again, with such harsh declines in these altcoin prices to start this week, to be bearish now after such a drop is not the correct way to look at the market in my view. Fiat Hater says we're going up. Gurman says, big altcoin pump coming. It will come when no one will be expecting. And yeah, that goes right along the lines of what I've been saying right now, where after such a large price decline to start this week, going into FOMC day, to expect even more sell-offs, that would clearly state that, we are basically in a bear market for altcoins and there's just zero demand across the board. Now, I do want to talk about the sentiment around altcoins right now, and I'm going to pull up a tweet from Credible Crypto. And Credible shares a lot of stuff in regards to the market, and I do agree with his take here. So he's responding by the way, shout out to Credible Crypto. He's responding to a tweet by this guy, essentially how people are calling for an end to altcoins, and it's easy to get caught up in the fear. Like he said, he flicked through a few charts, and the majors do look okay. Bitcoin's above 100,000. Ethereum is still really, really weak, but it's still above 3,000. But anyways, he says there's been some significant capitulation across lower cap shitcoins and memes. But who's surprised by that? For people calling cycle top on Bitcoin, do you think extreme fear in altcoins is normal for a cycle top? I don't. This isn't the top. Gives his Elliott Wave perspective. Anyways, Credible responds. He says, I agree. This type of altcoin capitulation is more characteristic of Bitcoin gearing up for the next leg rather than a market top. Market tops tend to occur in an environment in which alts are popping off left and right, everyone is making it, and euphoria is in the air. 100% correct. We haven't had those conditions. We haven't had similar kind of easy mode conditions like we had in, say, March of 2024. We did have it to an extent at the end of 2024 with the virtuals, entire ecosystem AI agent boom. But really, that was so niche specific. It was nothing like what happened in February and March of 2024, where really the entire market saw a rally. This was hyper specific with only certain niche narratives and niche coins in the AI agent sector. In November, we did have the meme coin craze with Pump Fun, and that all obviously died off because it was highly unsustainable. But we have not had the environment where euphoria is in the air across the board. Everyone seems to be making it. Coins are popping off. It just hasn't happened. Anyways, moving on. He says, right now everyone seems to be scared because their alts aren't doing much, while Bitcoin sits comfortable above $100,000 in what looks to be a very healthy consolidation structure. He says, keep calm, wait for some signs of strength on altcoins to add to spot positions on the way up, or DCA into higher time frame support zones on the way down if you're prepared to hold through some drawdown. Getting overly emotional at times like this is probably the worst thing you can do. I agree. And it really goes much along the lines of, everything I say here on a routine basis on the channel in these live streams. Again, Bitcoin holding above 100K in what appears to be a healthy consolidation structure, right? This is a very clear sideways consolidation that's been happening from November on Bitcoin, where we've been hovering around that 100K level, and that 100K level is a major support resistance flip, and we're still above it right now. So yes, it is not the time to get overly emotional. Altcoins have been crushed. There's no denying that. Really, no matter what you're holding, you probably were affected, unless you're all in on Bitcoin, of course, but no matter what, you have probably been affected by the altcoin drawdown. Now, when it comes to some of these more popular coins that did really well at the end of 2024 going into the new year, for example, the whole entire virtuals ecosystem, so a crazy parabolic rise to end 2024. Well, now what's happened with the virtuals chart? It's losing support after support, and it's now coming into my main demand zone. Again, we have the line marked out at $1.77 from these highs. Well, today or yesterday, what happened? We tested that level exactly at $1.77, and price did bounce. Now I would be looking for price to come deeper into this orange zone. But at this moment in time, this was a major decline. And again, after such a major move, seeing a 66% correction, it's not the time to be bearish. All right. With price now at a very, very key structural level on the chart in this higher time frame demand zone. I'm just using virtuals as one example here, but there's many kind of symbiotic charts that do look very similar to this. It's just not the time to basically capitulate. It's probably obvious to so many of you guys, but I know there's a lot of people definitely freaking out right now. They don't know what to do. Again, they will call you lucky in the future, but as of right now, you do have to endure the pain because it has been a very painful year for altcoin holders. But anyways, virtual is now coming into this demand zone around $1.75, and that was to be expected. If you guys have been watching the videos, I believe I talked about virtuals in might have been as long as 3 weeks ago. I talked about it coming into this level at $1.75, and it's here now. Okay, so yeah, going back to Credible Crypto's tweet, if you want to DCA into higher time frame support, and you're prepared to hold through some drawdown, well, this is higher time frame support. Just one example again. There's many charts that look just like this. Okay, we could draw down further to the daily 200 EMA at around $1.30. But I do expect price to have a positive reaction from this overall zone, this demand zone, and likely lead to a bounce and at least a retest of $3 to $4 again. So yeah, there's a lot of mean reversion plays at the moment. A lot of altcoins have been absolutely crushed. Again, going back to Pepe, this is a level where I would certainly be dollar cost averaging into something like Pepe as well. Looking at the current market cap of it, back down to 5 billion after being as high as, I believe it was 11. Yeah, it was as high as 11 billion in early December 2024, around 6 weeks ago. So it saw a 50% decrease, again, back in this range. I agree with Credible Crypto, and it goes right along the lines of, what I say here on the channel. When others are fearful, it's basically time to be greedy. There is just peak fear in the market right now. But anyways, let's see how things do progress going into JPow's press conference. It's going to start in around 13 minutes time. And a lot is definitely riding on what JPow has to say with this FOMC press conference today. Now let's go ahead and update some other things. We got a lot of people asking about treble swap on base, and here's the chart for TREB. And as you can see, price is back down to below $1. It's currently trading at 94 cents. Now, nobody should really be too shocked by this. Why do I say nobody should be too shocked? Well, price did go on a pretty crazy parabolic rally right after the launch at a time in very unfavorable market conditions. Okay, what did this result in? It resulted in a lot of people who just, bought it on the open market on the first or second day around, 15, 20 cents, 25, 30 cents, right? They instantly basically got like a 20, 30x in price. So a lot of people didn't take profit up here at the top. Actually, what you're seeing now is people getting scared. This is my opinion, of course. But with the market the way it is right now, and with altcoins seeing such heavy declines, a lot of people were in heavy unrealized profits here. And, they decided to wait until, say, $2 instead of being $3 to $4 to take significant money out. And you're seeing people basically capitulating. All right. This chart does look like capitulation, especially with this large volume spike today. So in regards to treble swap, what's my stance on it? Well, I talked about this on the channel leading into the launch for a long time. Okay, I was extremely transparent about everything, both the private sale, the public sale, the day of the token release. Like everything was all out there in the open. Okay, so there's nothing to shy away from. Now, this project is, in my opinion, going to not die off in a week. All right, this thing's life cycle is not 1 week. I do expect this thing to recover. I'm expecting a very large recovery and new all-time high prices personally. It's a very low market cap altcoin that's 9 days old now. It went up 20, 30x within the first few days after launch. So there's going to be crazy volatility to both ends. So if anybody is freaking out right now about the chart, I can understand if you were emotional and you ended up FOMOing on the pump. Okay, if you were bullish before the token launched, well, everything should be perfectly fine right now. In the sense where, you didn't FOMO into the parabolic green candles, which is exactly what I say to never do here on the channel. Right? If you would have been ready for the launch, well, ideally you would have been able to get in either in the sale and the raise beforehand, or you bought it on the open market cheap, around 20 cents, 25 cents. I put my buys in on Tuesday, the day after launch, at around 20 to 25 cents. Okay, so yeah, with treble swap again, this is not a pump and dump project. This is not some bullshit thing that's going to fade away in a week. It's a real exchange. It's the first V4 exchange on Base. If you do look at the pools, they are doing it in a way where the yield is actually sustainable and they're not inflating the token to infinity, diluting all the holders. Okay, they're actually going about this with some longevity in mind. So yeah, I'm bullish on treble swap, and I do see this dip as an opportunity. I do see a lot of capitulation happening, and if you FOMO'd into a parabolic rise, I don't have anything to say to you, because literally every single live stream, what do I say? Don't FOMO into the crazy green candles, okay? And a lot of FOMO definitely happened last week. And that's pretty clear with this crazy rise from $1 all the way up here to, $3.70. Well, being that this thing is sub 10 million market cap, sub 5 million market cap right now, it doesn't take a whole lot to move the price, both buys and sells. And you're seeing the law of reflexivity take place where something must rise so quickly, it also has the chance to fall very quickly, like snapping a rubber band. Okay, it goes crazy in both directions. But I do see a recovery in store for treble swap. And again, this is not some bullshit thing that's going to fade away in a week, in my opinion. I would be looking at current prices as opportunities if I did not participate in the launch or get in on the early days. That's my take on treble. I remain bullish. And I remain bullish on the Base ecosystem at large. There's a lot of coins on Base that I think are going to do really well. Mainly meme coins, right? Just like Solana, Base is essentially a meme coin trading chain. There are some fundamental plays like treble. And, treble has like 5 coins listed on the exchange right now. There's going to be a lot happening in the future. So, again, I remain bullish, and I see this as capitulation and a great opportunity, just like many other altcoins on the market right now, right? After such a large, harsh sell-off happens, if you're scared of a further drop, that usually results in selling a bottom. Somebody says, are we watching FOMC together? So the press conference is going to start in 7 minutes. We did get the data release that the Fed went ahead and paused rate cuts again. So there's really nothing to watch right now. And Jay Powell's going to start talking at 2:30. All right, let's talk about Unicorn Fart does UFD. Now, pretty disappointing because Ron, the founder and the dev, the guy who basically made the token, on Monday he got hacked. And a hacker stole, I believe the number was 6 million in UFD tokens, which was around $1 million US. And Ron's wallet got exploited, and that hacker sold all of his coins on the open market, which, as you can see, resulted in this, crazy wick. And again, talking about capitulation, right? This is what it looks like when you sell $1 million on the market at once. It's going to result in a very large volume spike and a wick down. Now, the dip did get bought up. A lot of people decided they wanted to, stick with the project. I'm still holding UFD. First buys was around an 88 million market cap. I did DCA in some more at this support level, around 20 cents. And as you can see, after Ron got hacked, that support level just got completely breached through. So my stance on UFD is, it's tough because I believe Ron, I personally do believe him, that he got hacked. And if he was playing like chess with us and he's lying about getting hacked and he actually took that million himself, like that would really be something. However, I'm remaining optimistic, and I guess I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, because honestly, I watched the live stream after he got hacked, and I was watching how he was speaking and everything like that, and it does seem to be authentic. It does appear to be authentic. Now, look, people are crazy. People are actors. Maybe he's playing us all, but I personally don't think he is. All right, and also the Unicorn Fart Dust community got together and sent Ron a ton of tokens after he got hacked as well, because all of his holdings got taken. He had his Phantom wallet on his phone get hacked. So yeah, my stance on unicorn fart dust. Well, it's performing like the majority of altcoins in the market right now in the sense that it is going down substantially. I do think it will recover personally, as long as Ron keeps on doing what he has been doing in the sense where he's live every day. He's going on other interviews and other podcasts, and he's kind of actively marketing the project, if you will. But for sure, it has been a crazy turn of events with him getting all of it stolen from him. And yeah, it's just not what you want to see. At the same time, the entire market's been getting slaughtered. So this chart is really no different than many others out there. However, it could have been prevented if Ron was better with his security measures, which should be a lesson for all of you guys as well. You need two-factor on everything. If you have two-factor on everything, like even if you do click on some link or something, everything's going to be fine. So yeah, get your security and OPSEC in order. Let Ron's loss of $1 million be a lesson for all of you. But I do see it recovering. I'm remaining optimistic and giving Ron the benefit of the doubt. And maybe I'm a fool for doing that. Time is going to tell. Time is going to tell. But yeah, it definitely halted a ton of momentum seeing that he got all of his tokens taken from him, and they were immediately dumped on the open market for over $1 million USD. But price now essentially back down to these critical support levels from 10 cents to around 50 cents. This is the bottom demand level, and we will see the reaction from here. But the Burj Khalifa pattern was actually completed on this chart as well as many others. KJ, thoughts on Ski Mask Dog? So Ski Mask Dog, the market overall, it's just so weak. Just taking a quick scan, seeing what some of these prices are. We need to look at the actual charts. But anyways, thoughts on Ski. Well, it is having a hard time here recovering. The major support resistance flip at $1, or not $1, but 17 cents. And that's really the first order of business for Ski that it must do. It must recover 17 cents here. And it's struggling to do so. All right, so we're still on the daily time frame, and we still have the rally-based rally demand zone that formed back in early December, and this is what is holding price currently. Now, this chart, so what we've seen now with the majority of memes is they've retraced, they find a support. 99% of them end up losing support and going lower. That's been happening with every meme coin, no matter how bullish it is, no matter how many big people are behind it. These things are just getting sold into oblivion. So for Ski Mask Dog right now, I would definitely be weary of the loss of support here. And that would result in price to move back down to 5 cents. Back down to a 50 million market cap. If this is going to lose support. And again, most of these coins, they have been not able to hold their respective support levels. So for Ski, very, very critical moment. I'm still bullish on it. Even if it goes down to, say, 5 cents again, I think this is, if Base is going to be a main contender, Ski Mask Dog has a very high chance of getting listed on Coinbase, much like Toshi. So I see these current sell-offs as opportunities, and I would look for support to hold here, meaning how to go about it, DCA. Or if you see a move down to 5 cents, that will probably be the bottom for Ski Mask Dog. But yeah, certainly weary of this support level losing, or unable to hold, I should say, because I really haven't seen a meme coin recently able to hold any support level. Literally every single coin, no matter what it is unable to hold any levels of support. All right, so potential rollover, but the fact that it's still above it with everything that's happened does give some inclination of strength. So that's why I would still say, right, if you're bullish on ski mask dog, it does not make sense at all to sell to try and buy back lower. The only viable strategy would be to either hold what you have or look to increase your exposure at key levels. Right now is one, and 5.5 cents would be one as well. Looks like we got some super chats coming in now. We got one from Bob's My Uncle. And Bob said, what chart is better, ARK or Griffin? So we can go compare the two. ARK. Currently ARK. Why do I say that? Well, it hasn't broken market structure. If ARK was to fall beneath 20 cents, that would be a bearish break in market structure. Now, if we go look at Griffin, it has lost support. Okay, Griffin has lost the support level at 30 cents. And it's essentially back down to its 20-cent level, which resulted in a huge increase from 20 cents all the way up here to around 61 cents. But anyways, looking at the two charts, which one is better, ARK or Griffin? ARK does appear to be stronger at the current moment in time, in the sense where it hasn't lost its market structure like Griffin has currently. Okay, if ARK was to drop beneath 20 cents, that would be the equivalent of Griffin dropping below 30 cents, in my opinion. So yeah, to answer the question, Bob, ARK does have a better chart right now. Vic, yes, I did. Crypto Junkie Princess says, any thoughts on KSAI on base as well as Dog and Me? Thoughts on chaos on base? I believe AIXBT made this coin, or it has something to do with AIXBT. I'm aware of that, but I'm not sure of the entire narrative and the point of this. Community-owned coin, community takeover. Not really too bullish on this. Again, being that I think it was created because AIXBT talked about chaos and people made a coin around it. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that. But it's not a very strong narrative, and it's not any groundbreaking AI technology. So I'm not too bullish on chaos with the information that I have. And then Dog and Me, still a very solid base meme coin. As you can see, recovered from the M pattern, dumped. Now it just retested the highs of this M pattern. So you essentially need to see follow through, and you need to see price break out above the highs. If you cannot break the highs, well, guess what? It's coming back down to our green zone at 0.0005. But yeah, Dog and Me, still a very strong, good base meme coin. Nothing's changed. Talked about this one a lot in previous videos, and I still think it's a good meme on base. It's one of those original ones that have stood the test of time, right? It's been around from February 2024. It's one of the very early meme coins to the base chain, and it's a good one. So yeah, I like Dog and Me. Mr. Good Guy talking about TAI TARS protocol, and it has fully engulfed yesterday's selling, and it's back to testing this 27-cent level. So for sure, a lot of people probably, sold the low yesterday. And TARS is one of these AI projects where I don't think anybody is really clear on what it does. However, the Solana Foundation is backing it, and also their marketing. They basically pay everyone to talk about it. Okay, so they got it in front of everyone's face through YouTubers and crypto accounts on Twitter. They made sure that the whole entire crypto world was aware of this project through their marketing efforts. And now what you saw is essentially a sell-off. A lot of people probably were frustrated and sold this bottom in an instant, fully engulfing bullish candle of yesterday's sell-off. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about, where it's really not the time to be, say, bearish per se. That was last week. And I would expect many coins to actually put in similar moves to what TARS has done, where it has instantly kind of ate the dip. Same thing with XRP, for example. All right, so pay attention to the strength here on these coins that are eating the dip so well. A lot of people have a lot of mixed feelings around TARS, and I try to remain as objective as possible with it. Okay, I'm aware of their marketing efforts and how they pay a ton of people to talk about it all the time. I think it will do well personally. I think even with all of the FUD and the people saying it's a scam and everything, I think something like this is actually going to do well, but time will tell. And a lot of people definitely capitulated yesterday on this very harsh sell-off down to 20 cents. And that is what happens when you act emotionally and you panic sell. Anyways, Crypto Junkie Princess, another super chat. Turbo on base. So not the turbo on ETH, but turbo on base. So another one where it's like a new meme. It's a ripoff of the original turbo. And, you know, this thing has put in the 80% drop. Okay, 88% drop. So if you want to buy it, it would be a good time now with an 88% drop. But it's a ripoff of the turbo on Ethereum. So derivatives can do well. I don't want to say derivative coins can't do well, because they certainly can, and they can certainly pump. But something like Turbo, for example, could be a good play down here, but I'm not interested. If you want to buy it, now is the time with an 88% price drop. And then Luna, I never liked Luna personally by virtuals. I always thought it was stupid. So I'm not interested in buying this coin for fundamental reasons. Now for technical reasons, it would make sense here if you're looking for a potential deviation. But I wouldn't be surprised if this thing goes to zero. It's some kind of e-girl AI thing that live streams, and it really doesn't provide much value. It's more so mindless entertainment for the brain rot world of TikTok that we live in nowadays. So I'm really not bullish on Luna. I don't see much value in the project at all. All right, anyways. We got JPow up on the podium for the past 9 minutes now. Also, we haven't even talked about how Donald Trump right now, through World Liberty Financial, just continues to accumulate and buy more coins. People are so emotional right now, and that's the whole point of the events that are happening in the market with these crazy sell-offs on altcoins. It's literally meant to make you, first of all, it's meant to exploit you, and of course, extract as much as possible. That's the market makers and exchanges' job. But also, it's to emotionally manipulate you to be scared and basically exit, and then FOMO back in later when times are good again. Okay, we'll talk about Trump and everything he's buying right now in just a moment of time. Fiat Hater says Powell holding key rates steady at 4.25 to 4.5%. Yes, he is holding them steady right now. I do think Trump is going to intervene. Look, Trump literally, he's buying tens of millions of dollars of Ethereum on a consistent basis, even with the Ethereum Foundation selling. He's made it super clear that crypto is going to have a hub in the US, and it's going to foster innovation. So on the bigger picture, looking at what's happening right now, if you can just zoom out and have a bit of a macro perspective, you would also understand why I'm kind of calm right now and why I'm not too panicked and worried and freaking out. Because I do understand the bigger picture at play here and everything going on. And again, I think they're going to call us lucky in the future. Having to go through all of this, they're going to think it's an overnight success, but there is no such thing as overnight success. That does not exist. Johnny says, is Citadel a good buy? So Griffane's equivalent to something like, say, Vader or Sequoia, right? AI kind of hedge fund. Is it a good buy, Johnny? 90% drop? Yeah, it is. Okay, now it would be a good time to buy it. Total reset of the board. Now, this is definitely not like first on my priority list as a coin to buy, but I'm a sucker for those 90% drops, because at the very, very, very least, you'll have the opportunity to sell a bounce for profit if you want to quickly trade it. And these happen after price drops from 90 to 99% on new coins, new memes. And you had that 90% drop. So this would be the time to buy a coin like this, 100%. Again, it's not something I'm interested in personally right now. But yeah, can potentially come down to 2.5 to 2 million in market cap, right? It can still go lower from here because it's only been down 90%. These things do drop 99% and then put in, a 200, 300% move same day. So yeah, I would be looking to play that if anything, Johnny. And I would be looking for a potential move to 2.5, although current prices are very attractive with the 90% drop. Declan Wyatt says he watched Ron's channel for years before he launched a coin. I personally believe him as well. So yeah, UFD is a really interesting situation. Again, we spent some time talking about it already today. He got hacked. It appears he got hacked. He could be playing us all. And he could be, fronting, saying he got hacked, but meanwhile he just cashed out $1 million. It's tough, but again, I'm giving Ron the benefit of the doubt. And I do believe him in the sense that he actually lost his tokens to a hacker. It destroyed the momentum of the project, but maybe in the long haul, it's just adding to the lore and the storyline of the project. And going back to Murad's thesis as well, how these communities need to go through these stress tests to test how strong the holder base is. This is obviously a very, very pertinent one for UFD in the community there. So if it can survive this, which I think it will, I see it going to new highs. It's a very unique meme coin in the sense where, again, it's that organic growth that formed and a viral organic movement, which is very rare and very hard to replicate. And you can't buy something like that with money. It just happens naturally. And that's what UFD is, and that's my thesis around UFD, right? That's why I decided to buy this in the first place and talk about it on YouTube, because I recognize and I understood the organic viral movement that started. And usually these things will snowball and grow to crazy, crazy things. So that's my thesis with UFD. That's why I've talked about it on the channel. And this hack by Ron's wallet getting hacked is a major stress test for the coin. If it can come out of this, I think really good things are in store for its future. Fiat Hater, I do appreciate the live commentary around Powell's speech right now. We are not watching the speech live. We are more focused on the charts and the market at the moment. And it does appear that we're seeing Bitcoin start to move higher now. So yeah, I mean, look, again, People expecting more dumping and more selling after one of the craziest like wipeouts in altcoins that we've had since a few months, because really this cycle has just been altcoin wipeout after altcoin wipeout. But anyways, yeah, people expecting more selling after huge moves to the downside. The time to be bearish, again, it was last week. Bitcoin reacting really well now, and we're likely to see a lot of coins put in some big green days. Personally, I'm expecting. Looking at the board right now, mostly green. The Albert with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you for the super chat. He says, hey Connor, can you give your thoughts on Alien Base? How high do you think it can go this bull run? So my thoughts on Alien Base, I've shared them in the past. I think it's a good project. It's a good exchange. So it is essentially, say, a fork. It's not like Treble in the sense where it's V4. You can't fork that, okay? You can't just kind of replicate it. I have no negative things to say about ALB. I just think Treble is a better product and a better kind of it's a more sustainable, they're going about it in a more sustainable way than ALB. Now, the thing with ALB is, one, it's already seen a 100x. It's actually seen a 250x in price over a period of around a year and a half to a year, right? March 2024, it's trading at 0.002. And it made a high at 57 cents. This was a 250x in 258 days. So my price prediction for ALB is, I think it peaked. I've studied many decentralized exchange coins, and typically after they go on their first parabolic rally, they don't recover to new all-time highs. Okay, it can certainly bounce and get back up to say 20 cents to 40 cents in that region. But to attract enough capital to push this thing to new all-time highs with the emissions they have, I don't see that happening. Okay, so in my opinion, after a 250x in 2024, I think it peaked. Go study all the other DEX charts. Typically what happens is they have kind of a slow build up. They go insane, and it's like all coins after a crazy parabolic rise of this magnitude of going from a super small market cap, in this case with ALB, right? It was 300,000 to a high of 80 million. It's very hard to sustain that, especially with token emissions in the mix. So yeah, I think ALB peaked. Don't see it making a new all-time high personally. That's just me though. Christopher F, he says, how about Ponky and Bobo? So both of these coins are seeing kind of major, it's not capitulation, because capitulation happens really quickly. These are more just kind of like slow grinds down. Now, Ponky, if you can get back above 111 million market cap, that would be good, and that would be encouraging for it. But as of right now, it's certainly very weak, and it's got a long road to recovery. Same thing with Bobo, and I am more bullish on Bobo than Ponky. Now, Bobo has been, let's get our full chart up here. Here we go. 38 million market cap right now. So if you look at the differences between the charts, Ponky lost support. The equivalent on the Bobo chart to what's happening on Ponky right now would be, Ponky's basically down here, lost support. Bobo is still, above its 2024 lows, or at least the summer to the fall 2024 lows. Okay, so I would definitely say Bobo over Ponky. And usually Bobo ends up performing quite well after it's tried to bounce and break out in the past, but has been sold into every time after it goes into this really, really tight consolidation. But now you have a really, really tight consolidation at essentially not the bottom of the chart, but very low at a major support level. So yeah, I would say great levels for Bobo. And, if you were buying higher at 60 million, 70 million, 80 million, if you have the means to DCA, I think it would make sense to DCA a little more here to bring your average down, to increase your holdings, because I'm still bullish on Bobo. And I think Ethereum meme coins are going to see a really, really rapid increase when the market does recover here as people kind of move away from the Solana show. And Bobo is highest on the list, or it's really up there on the list when it comes to Ethereum meme coins. Another one would be Apu, very similar to Bobo. And Apu as well is, back down to, it's given back everything. Okay, so I would be interested in Bobo. I would be interested in something like Apu. Personally, I wouldn't be too interested in something like Ponky right now. I would stick with the Ethereum meme coins that have the lore, that have been around for a long time, that are used, that have those really rock solid cult-like communities. Bobo has it. Apu has it. There's some other ones on ETH, obviously, like the Murad coins, SPX, that have it. If I was going to buy Ethereum meme coins, I would stick with this basket. But yeah, Ponky is not really something I'm too crazy about at the moment. Anyways, we got another super chat from Crypto Junkie Princess saying, one super chat, any thoughts on beats on base? So a lot of people have asked me about this one over the past few weeks and the past few months even, beats on base. And I've always said I wasn't really too crazy about it. So yeah, my thoughts really haven't changed. I'm not an interested buyer of this token. If it did come all the way back down to say 163K, maybe I would consider it. But as of right now, after going on a pretty crazy run, it's cooling off. And I'm not sure if there's any catalyst to propel this thing back higher. Right? The whole AI thing with the AI agents and all that, it was a short-term fad. And many of those coins are not going to recover. Does Beats have anything to offer other than the fact that it produces like AI music? Not really. And the thing is, it's really easy to replicate a project like this. It's not really unique. So I'm not too crazy about beats on base. Shout out to Benjamin H telling everyone to smash the like button. Guys, smash up the like button if you're enjoying the live stream. It helps me out a ton. And we got a lot of people watching and not a lot of likes. So hit that like button and thank you for your support. Let's see. No FOMO is asking about. So you guys really only ask about memes, which is why I spend most of the show talking about memes. If you guys want me to look at any other stuff, of course, you can ask me to do so. But anyways, this coin, just buy $1. Look, this is another stupid pump fund coin. Like, the percentage chance for a pump fund coin to sustain and to last is so less than 1%, it's not even funny. So, yeah, I wouldn't touch this thing with a 10-foot pole. Can it recover from this? I'll be damned if it does. I'll be damned. But I don't see that happening. And it's just something I would stay away from. People asking, can you still buy treble? Yeah, you can still buy treble if you want to. Again, I do think you're seeing a large capitulation happen with treble right now. And I think $1 is a good price for it. So, yeah, you can certainly buy treble if you'd like to do so. Looking at the volume, looking at the chart, It's got capitulation written all over it. Again, a lot of people were reluctant to sell on the parabolic rise, but as price starts to kind of decline, all those holders are like, oh man, I should have sold. So they end up kind of selling out of fear and panic, pushing this price down below $1. All right. Some really big buys did come in below $1. And I think Treble is going to do well. So early, so kind of small. And again, talking about base or just DEXs in general, somebody asked me about Alien Base. Look, it took time for ALB to bear its fruit, you can say, right? It took like 250 days from this bottom to go 250x. And again, other DEXs we can use as examples. Here's ZF on ZK Sync, right? Another one where when they go on that insane rally to the tens of millions in market cap, some of them reach hundreds of millions. Most don't recover from that, but the thing is, if you have the opportunity to say, here's another one on Arbitrum, Camelot Grail. Okay, this was the number one DEX on Arbitrum. I guess it still is the number one DEX on Arbitrum. But again, right, parabolic rise. I don't think this is right. I think it was a higher market cap than 60 million. But anyways, I keep on saying base, but decentralized exchange tokens in general. I've noticed how they typically take a little while after they launch to get some kind of momentum building. They go nuts, typically at a time when the entire market goes nuts, and they typically have a very hard time recovering because of emissions. All right, so again, Treble is so new. The chart is going to basically, in my opinion, it'll look like this in the future, all of this action, and you'll see it up here, but that's just my take on it. I think it's super early and there's a lot of opportunity for Treble swap right now. So I'm bullish, and again, hasn't peaked. If it peaked, I would let you know, right? Just like I've made it clear with all the other tokens that I believe it peaked. But I don't think this one's peaked. Let's see. Renum says, why does it take so long for DEXs to get on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap? Well, they've applied and they've done everything they can, to my understanding. It's up to CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap to list them. So I'm not sure. I'm have nothing to do with that. But yeah, I'd imagine that Treble has done everything they needed to do to apply and get listed. It's just up to these websites to do it now. Looks like we get another super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Ahad. It says, do you have any advice? Do you have any advice on setting up for success as soon as Dynamic Tau goes live? So what I would say with the Dynamic Tau launch right now in mid-February is the only thing you can do at the current moment in time to set yourself up for success is research the subnets that you would be interested in buying their token of. That's really the only thing you can do. You can't do anything else right now. So the only thing you should be doing right now is researching subnets and finding the ones you think will attract the most Tau to them, the most dynamic Tau to them, okay? And you want to buy those tokens essentially as early as possible. Okay, so you should prepare yourself mentally. You have to know that you need to be early to these coins because they're going to go live on February 10th or February 14th, whatever day it is, whatever day is announced. And the people that are ready to go, that are ready to pull the trigger on their most bullish subnets are probably going to be the people that see the most profit out of the get-go. It's essentially going to turn into the way that a lot of these meme coins launch, where or just everything on the free market, if you get into something earlier, you're going to make more profit. So yeah, I would say to prepare by researching as many subnets as you can, find the ones that you were most bullish on, and get ready to buy those when dynamic Tau does actually go live. That's how I would prepare personally. And of course, I will be making more content around Tau and dynamic Tau, as well as all of the subnets. And I'll also be sharing the ones I'm going to buy early inside of the Mastermind. So if you're interested in that, you should certainly apply and consider joining the Mastermind if you want to find out which subnets I plan on buying ahead of time. Yes, Abstract will have an airdrop. Pudgy Penguins, essentially. Let's see. Uktkarsh Road, he says, thoughts on Sensei as well as OORT, low cap AI, and DPIN projects. Okay, so Sensei is now completing its own Burj Khalifa. Basically, any chart you look at that had a parabolic rise at the end of 2024, they all have this pattern. They all do have this pattern right now. Even OORT, which was not like a new launch, right? It fully retraced its entire pump. It's actually right at my original buy price, 8.8 cents right now. So it fully retraced everything. 8.8 cents, 28 cents, back to 8.8. Burj Khalifa, okay? So I think OORT fundamentally is very sound. And after this Burj Khalifa, I don't see it making new lows. Although at this point I wouldn't be surprised by anything given the performance of these altcoins and how weak they've been all cycle long. But at the same time, yeah, I remain bullish on OORT. Now, Sensei, not really in the same camp, I would say. And the price action in the chart is a very, very different look, right? This is a long kind of build up over many months. Sensei fresh launch instantly goes parabolic. So charts like these are more inclined to see rapid drops like you're seeing. But anyways, I see Sensei coming back down to bare minimum 8.5 million market cap. And then I would consider potentially, but yeah, it's I think it's got lower to go, and it's just never been a coin I've been interested in buying. And Mr. Good Guy is asking about ALCH. So another one, right? New AI agent coin, super hyped up. Well, and it Burj Khalifa. They all have the same pattern, okay? No matter which chart you're looking at. They all have the same exact pattern right now. So ALCH, will it recover? Will it recover? ALCH. The fact that it hasn't lost this structure yet, look, it's given back all gains, okay? It's back down to square one. That's the way I see it right now. It's at square one again. I think it will recover, okay? Given what the project is and the scope of it, it is a bit, say, different than the blatantly obvious AI agent scams that take place on Solana. I think this one is a bit different. And the reason I think there's been such a large decline, although you can say the same thing with all of these charts because they all have the Burj Khalifa. They all have pumped and fully dumped back down to where they started. But anyways, yeah, Solana, it's a Jeep playground, right? It's a meme coin playground. People can't hold anything on there. So it's going to take some time, in my opinion, for the supply to distribute to enough holders where you won't have a crazy imbalance of, holders in massive profits able to tank all the prices. And that's why everything has dropped, obviously. There's been more supply than demand to cause prices to drop down and complete their Burj Khalifa chart patterns. So yeah, basically you need to see the supply rebalance and get in the hands of holders who aren't going to dump massive bags and who are actually going to work for their bags. But anyways, I'm bullish on ALCH. I've been bullish on it for fundamental reasons, not hype, right? Not hype. So I think it has the potential to recover, and it's going to be a bit of a tough road because, again, the supply needs to redistribute. Essentially, too many meme coin degens got in too early, as with most of these coins, and they don't care. They're in it for profit, and they'll just dump. They don't care at all. And people are asking about Toshi as well. So Toshi, after going from 17, 20 million in September and hitting almost $1 billion, here's the chart. Is it done? So at this moment in time, you have to understand, there have been people in Toshi that have been holding it from 2023 over here, sub 10 million market cap, people buying it at 20 to 30 million market cap, whatever. They all cashed out on this pump, on the Coinbase listing pump. Now they probably do have, I know that people have moon bags, but tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of realized profit, it was realized on this pump. Okay, so essentially the same thing that I was just saying with ALCH. The tokens need to essentially redistribute. You had all these large holders that bought early. They used this Coinbase listing pump as exit liquidity to sell, which is the smart thing to do, right? You have a major catalyst like a Coinbase listing. You see the volume spike and go crazy. You want to always sell into volume. Always sell into volume. Write that down, all right? When it comes to altcoins, right? When you see the crazy volume spikes and the parabolic pumps, you want to sell into that volume. You don't want to buy into that volume. So anyways, I don't think Toshi is done. Although it's going to take some time now to cool off, it's probably going to retrace more. And if anything, it will go on another run later on in the year. But for now, I wouldn't touch it. I would let it settle. I would let it find its support level. There's nothing to do right now with Toshi other than realize profit if you were in from earlier and leave a moon bag. But in terms of buying right now, no, that makes zero sense. It makes zero sense to be a buyer of Toshi right now. I do think it has the potential to go on another rally later on in the year. But as of right now, it makes zero sense to be a buyer, given the amount of people essentially using the Coinbase listing to cash out. Let it find support. Let it settle. That doesn't mean I think it's dead and finished. I just think it needs a lot of time now to essentially find a base after such a parabolic rally. Shout out to James Brasco. Appreciate your support. Christopher F., what do you think about Cubic? Do you see it going lower? There are a couple of higher time frame fair value gaps. So Cubic continues to hold this parallel channel structure. Just continues to essentially make lower lows on this channel support line. Now, this stuck out at me when I was analyzing Cubic the other day. You basically have the triple drive. You got 1, you got 2, you got 3. And you do have although this line does appear to be breaking to the downside in a bearish way. But you do have the bullish divergence here as well on the triple drive on support, right? 1, 2, 3. Price action making the lower lows with the RSI making higher lows, bullish divergence. So I was also the fact that we're at the bottom of our zone. Okay, so support resistance flip level here at 2,000 per billion on cubic with this higher time frame bullish divergence and the triple drive. It looks ready to bounce here, although it may need to come and test 1973, as that was the true high of the accumulation range. This was a deviation that happened in September before price going to revisit the lows. So the true kind of high of the actual accumulation range was at 1900 and around 63. It's very close to there. Now, for your FVGs, I'm assuming you've mapped out this as an FVG over here. And that's pretty close to what I was saying in 1963. Right, you have one at 1921. And then the other ones would be down at 1600 per billion. So yeah, I would be looking for 1900 to 2000 per billion to hold that support here. Otherwise it's going back down to the bottom, and you really don't want to see that. Other coins have done it. Cubic at this point in time hasn't. It's been a really slow drip, kind of choppy grind downwards. But everything I'm seeing in the chart, higher time frame support, bullish divergence, I would be looking for a bounce. And you need to see higher highs and a reclaim of the monthly open. Okay, the monthly open up here at 2,900 per billion. It's got some work to do to get back up there. And with the monthly close now in 2 days' time, it does look like the month is going to close red. So we should be looking forward to February now. But yeah, I don't see this coming back down to the bottom. I will be looking for 1900 per billion to hold. Thoughts on Kaspa meme coins? Very, very niche select sector of the market on Kaspa with their memes. If you want to go to that very niche playground to play, there's opportunity there. But I'm not interested in going to that super hyper specific kind of sector of the market to speculate. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Kaspa meme coins. Shout out to Manny. What's going on, Manny? Expectations for treble. I've shared it many times in this live stream already. I've been asked about it repeatedly. It looks like treble capitulated, and you're already starting to see signs of recovery. It looks like some buys have been stepping in now at $1.22. So yeah, again, for treble, my view on this chart, a lot of people, bought early, 20 cents, 25, 30 cents, whatever. They saw the price go above $3. They didn't sell. They saw a price come back down to $2, 150, and they panicked. They freaked out, so they capitulated. And that's why you see, something like this, large capitulation wick with the capitulation volume. So yeah, I do expect a recovery for treble. I think it's super early and it will go a lot higher. But that's just me, not financial advice. But when something rises so quickly and there's so much unrealized profit, you got to expect to swing the other way. And it looks like that capitulation happened. So I would expect a recovery. If you see big holders sell, I would look at it as opportunity, because really this thing is in its infancy. Miguel, let's clean this comment section up and let's get Miguel out of here. We don't like bots. We don't like bots or people talking about random things like that. So Miguel, you're in timeout. And people asking about MOG coin. So this is one of Murad's picks as well. Another chart. You got the Burj Khalifa. A lot of Burj Khalifas out there. The market cap of MOG. 452 million after touching a billion. 1.5 actually in December. So much along the lines of many meme coins in the market right now. Much along the lines of many of them. Will MOG coin recover? So I've never bought MOG. I do understand how it's, part of the culture. Get MOG'd, right? It's a saying that the kids love nowadays. And it is one of kind of the OG meme coins from 2023 that have stuck around and remained relevant. So Murad's correct in the sense it has that cult around it. Will it recover? My 2 cents. I think it will. However, I would still be looking for more potential pain. Right? It does appear it might want to come back down and revisit these lows. Kind of fully complete this shakeout. Now the velocity of this drop it's a very high velocity. It's straight down. Okay, so this thing is due to put in at least a lower high before potentially coming back lower. Right? The velocity of so many of these sell-offs is extremely aggressive. So you typically will at least see a bounce if they are going to go lower. But yeah, MOG I do think will recover. Again, it's on Murad's list, which gives it kind of a stamp of credibility among the majority of meme coins out there, which is one thing to look for. But yeah, I would say let it complete its Burj Khalifa for now. And Mochi is the next Toshi. So yes, Brian Armstrong does actually have another cat named Mochi, other than his other cat named Toshi. And Mochi it pumped due to the Toshi pump. And a lot of people are speculating that this one could also get listed on Coinbase because it's Brian Armstrong's other cat. It's also one of the original memes on the Base network, as you can see, released in December 2023. So yeah, Mochi is the beta play to Toshi, and it's looking very good compared to 99% of coins on the market right now. So it looks like everyone is rotating profits essentially from Toshi. Again, I wouldn't advise buying Toshi right now. Just no move to make there other than to let it settle. But there's probably a lot of people taking profit from their Toshi and moving it into Mochi, which is why you're seeing it hold and not Burj Khalifa. Steve Vo, thoughts on Blofin? Exchange. So perpetual exchange on Sui. These things are a dime a dozen. And the problem with this, I would say, is the fact that it launched at such a high market cap valuation. Okay, this thing launched at a $500 million valuation. Who of course is going to dump like this? Okay, so yeah. Stay away from this is what I think about Blofin. Like this thing launched in a way so the insiders can instantly get rich. Okay, if you look at something like Treble, it launched at like a 200 to 300K valuation. This launched at 550 million. This is like ICP launching at $1,000 and the insiders instantly cashing out. Stay away from this. It's just got insider trading written all over it, and they're probably still holding massive amounts. So yeah, I would not touch Blofin with a 10-foot pole. Very, very unfair launch. 550 million, it's insane, and it pumped up to 1.1 billion too. So doubt it will recover from this. A lot of people asking about the VVV launch on Base. So VVV airdropped to AIXBT, Virtuals, and a few other coins, people holding that. They got the VVV airdrop. So On day one, the team of VVV was caught selling 1% of the supply. And also 2 Aerodrome employees were fired because they insider traded this launch. So it's got a ton of baggage and dirt on it already. And personally, a project like this, okay, it does look relatively interesting in terms of its AI capabilities, but one Tau subnet will eat this thing inside and out. So total insider play. The founder was defending that only 1% was sold by the team on day one. It's just like, in this market where everyone is so sick of getting used and abused and rug pulled, you can't do that type of shit. So yeah, I wowould stay away from VVV personally. I know a lot of the virtuals guys are like really bullish on this and they're buying it and things like that. I'm not interested in it. And we'll see if I'm wrong in the sense that it does recover and go make some new highs. It can certainly be manipulated to do that. It got listed on Coinbase on day one. So there's a lot of insider shenanigans happening with this thing, which they may pump the price. But in terms of its actual fundamental use and things like that, nah, stay away from it. Now, I do want to see what the heck is going on with JPOW and his speech. So apparently, according to sources, Powell is positive on crypto innovation. At least that's what I'm seeing. And he says banks shouldn't cut out crypto customers. So that's pretty bullish stuff. And it looks like the Bitcoin price, again, is still reacting positively to Powell's press conference, which started almost an hour ago now. So, again, just to kind of summarize everything we talked about in this live stream, the time to be bearish is not after the sell-off already happens and you see coins go down like 40, 50% in a single day. Okay, if you're expecting more sell-offs after that immediately, something going on up here isn't correct, because that's not typically how things work. Usually you're being emotionally manipulated to sell the bottom because you think it will go lower after such a harsh, aggressive sell-off has already happened. So yeah, we are certainly due for a big bounce here. Bitcoin has held above 100K throughout this entire carnage, and it is now approaching the origin of the breakdown at 105,000. So look, a Bitcoin above 100K is bullish, no matter how you look at it, no matter what your macro view is, no matter what your view of the Fed is. Bitcoin above $100,000 is holding above a key support level, and that is bullish, all right? Personal feelings aside, above 100K, I don't see much reason to be bearish. Now, obviously, altcoins are completely different. The cycle is completely different with altcoins. But as long as the king, BTC, is above 100, I would say things are clear to progress further on in the cycle. And again, they will call us lucky in the future later on this year. But they don't understand everything that we have basically had to go through to get to that point where they will call us lucky for holding altcoins and seeing them pop off. But yeah, right now the Fed, looks like a lot of interesting stuff in regards to crypto was talked about. Powell saying that banks shouldn't cut out crypto customers. Powell saying he's positive on the innovation happening in the crypto industry. I do want to wrap up the stream so I can go actually personally recap this press conference myself and see everything going on. But all in all, Bitcoin above 100K, there's no reason to panic or freak out. And many altcoins for sure are not going to recover, but many of them will go on to make new highs. And think of the bigger picture at stake here. Think of the bigger picture at large before you emotionally sell because you are distressed and exhausted and you were expecting to get rich and retire already from the crypto market. It's been very different this cycle, and things don't always play out how you want it. Like the Rolling Stones said, you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you might just get what you need. So stay patient, and I think you will get that. Anyways, PG, Powell, word bullish or bearish, there's conflict. So it appears to be more bullish than bearish currently. Again, just going off of the charts and the TA and the prices, we're seeing some really nice bounces across the board. And yeah, we're going up. Hope you guys didn't install bottoms. Shout out to the Silvadala. Good to see you here in the chat today, Silvadala. Saying smash the like, guys. Smash up that like button. Appreciate all of your support. So let's just look at Dogecoin, for example, right now. Yeah, we're going up, guys. Right? Doge is very similar to BTC in the sense where it's come down to a very important level at 30 cents on Doge. You have a really good reaction. You have a sweep of the monthly open in January. You swept all these lows, took out all the lows, all the stop losses there. You took them. And you're seeing now a positive, obviously a green day, but a very positive reaction from this very critical support level. And a test of that monthly open is the main thing that sticks out at me in this long-standing range for Doge. So we've seen this before in previous cycles, specifically Matic in 2021 when it went from 1 to 2 cents to 30 cents. It spent around 30 days chopping around before going to $3. Doge has now been going in this range for 76 days, but this range is likely going to lead to, new all-time highs on the next pump. So just in general, things don't look really as bad as it appears, at least on the majors, right? XRP looks ready to go to new all-time highs. XLM in the range. So the majors look good. Even going back to what Credible Crypto said in his tweet, right? Yeah, the majors, they don't look bad at all. It's really only the shit coins that are getting wrecked and the low market cap coins that are getting wrecked. So that's that. Anyways, PG, he says, what is a good buy for virtual and game on virtual? All right, so virtual 175 to 125. Maybe that was it, right? Maybe after hitting 177, that was it. But I do still think a test of the daily 200 is in order. So maybe slightly. This is a bit different, being that it is coming out of a major parabolic growth period, and now it's in the midst of its correction. Whereas many of these other coins, they haven't just experienced a major parabolic growth period. Okay, so for this thing, it's in the midst of its correction after that parabolic growth. So yeah, I would say your buy zone on virtual, 175. Let's be technical and say 177 down to around $1.25. And then game by virtuals. Same thing, right? Coming out of a parabolic growth period, now in a correction. I would say if you can get your hands on 30 million to 50, 60 million, that's your buy zone for it. Because if it loses this level, you have to understand it's coming back down to 15 million. Okay, so yeah, right now your buy zone's around 50, 60 million down to 30 million. A bit of a wide one. Price is not in it. It did test it, but I would, just like virtual, I would let it come down a little bit lower. Again, it's correcting after a major parabolic growth period, whereas many other coins have either been going sideways or down. These went parabolic, so different charts, different circumstances for them. Trevor says, I sold TAI rock bottom and bought VVV. So yeah, that's an emotional move for sure, right? If you're going to sell something that's dropping and buy after something that's new and hyped up, TAI fully recovering this dip. So yeah, pretty crazy. But anyways, that was a very emotional move, Trevor. Okay, so learn from it. Don't act on your emotions like that. Yeah, just very, very emotional. And don't think like that was the wrong move to make. Let's not sugarcoat it, and let's not be like light on you, like that you made the wrong move. But also, just to make you feel a little bit better, I can only imagine how so many people made the wrong move yesterday and sold the bottom on things. Okay, so be hard on yourself, but at the same time, don't be too hard on yourself, and use it as a lesson, if that makes sense. Don't act from your emotions like that, because it will not lead to good things happening. Maybe you can get lucky and it will work out, but over time, if you continue to act on your emotions, it will lead to your downfall. And that's one example, right? Selling this to go into some new hyped up thing that had really, really clear insider trading on day one. It's an emotional thing to do. Let's see, no FOMO. He says, I usually agree with you, but I think you were wrong about dollar. Take some time and look at it. Hold your volume and narrative. We have a diehard community. It's going to fly again in a few days. Potentially, but it's just straight pump and dump price actions. I'm just not interested in this type of stuff, right? I'm just not the guy for this type of stuff. All right, go watch some dude that only talks about pump fun on his channel, and I'm sure he'll tell you what's going to pump. But somebody like myself, it's not my forte. And it's just straight pump and dump price action. Like, it's ridiculous. So I hope it does pump hard again for you guys. I hope you guys can somehow cause it to go on another parabolic pump. But there's been not one, but two clear pump and dumps that have happened. So I'm just not interested in it. It's gambling. It's straight up gambling to me. AI16Z. So the A16Z hedge fund basically asked them to change the name to Eliza. And this thing is still in a downtrend. It's fully reset the board. But at the same time, this candle is interesting where it went from 7 million to 700 million in a day. This thing is a really interesting chart. The question is, how far can AI16Z go? To the upside or to the downside? Because to the downside, I actually think this thing can go even. This is so interesting, this candle. On the 3rd hour after launch, the open was 13 million. The close was 812 million. What the heck happened there? Super interesting chart in the sense where it's like kind of, what happened, right? What happened. It's just like they cornered it, I would say. That's what was able to allow it to rise to 2.8 billion. Total corner market. How high can it go? I'm really not sure. I don't see it lasting the test of time. I don't see this thing lasting at all. I would say it had its parabolic rise. If anything, it needs to go sideways for a long time before it goes up again. But yeah, it's just another one where I'm not interested at all. And look, when it comes to XRP right now, again, you have a very obvious bull flag happening. The relative strength of XRP's recovery compared to so many other altcoins out there gives you some kind of inclination, that there's a ton of demand for this thing. So yeah, I'd be looking for the bull flag to break out, and it can happen sooner rather than later. Super obvious bull flag structure. You don't have 3 lows yet, Maybe you come down and test the low one last time at around 270 or so. But yeah, this thing is going to make new highs in my opinion. Think AI agents are cooked in general? Definitely the majority of individual agent projects. Infrastructure, not so much, but the majority of the individual projects, yeah, they're cooked. 100%. Anyways, PG with the super chat. Should I buy BitTensor now or wait for 400/300? Still a very good price. You're below the daily 200. Okay, so you're right on the daily 200. You're actually below it. So yeah, Tau even at 460, it's a good price, okay? Should you wait for the high 300s again? Not with all capital, I would say to buy some, not financial advice, I'll make it clear, I don't give that. But what I would look to do is, yes, DCA in now. If you see it at 425 again, DCA more. If you see it at 400, DCA more. And if it never drops back down to 400 and it instead goes to new all-time high, you should be content with the bag you've kind of created, and you should not FOMO in at new all-time high prices, okay? So, yeah, great price for BitTensor now. But the thing is, guys, like, it's so important not to have FOMO, okay? Treb, for example, like, so many people didn't want to be a buyer at 25 cents or 20 cents, but they wanted to buy it at $2. Like, fix that part of your mental game in crypto. Fix that part of FOMO. Okay, why weren't you interested at $2 or at 20 cents? Why weren't you interested at 40 cents? Why did you only think it was a good idea to buy it up here at 150 to $2? Same thing across the board. When other people are scared and they don't know what's going on, usually you're probably going to feel scared too. And it doesn't feel right to buy because what if? You only want to buy after you have like a reassurance and the price is pumping. Same thing with Tau, right? Why weren't you interested at 360? Why do you want it now after it's about to break out and put in some new highs? I'm not kind of going after you individually. I think it's a broad problem many people have in crypto where they're only interested in things after the market has proved its value. Okay, then that's what causes you to be late all the time. For example, on Treble, on Tuesday at like 22 cents, I said, look, if you don't have any Treble, buy it. Then on Thursday and Friday, I got people asking me at $2, is it a good time to buy? Now look, I made it clear I think it's going to go higher, but your mindset is so flawed. Like, why are you waiting for a parabolic pump to buy things? Anyways, I digress. I just see it way too often, and people asking me, "Oh, is it a good time?" Like, dude, I told you it was good 10x lower. Like, why are you asking me that question at 10x higher price? I still think it will go up, but you're gonna have to deal with the volatility in the meantime, okay? Because people were buying it 10x lower, and they're gonna want to take profits. It's gonna cause a ton of volatility on the chart. Looks like we get another scammer, Antonio. Thank you, Johnny G, for letting everyone know. We'll go ahead and get this guy out of here. What's happening with Griffin? I haven't sold Griffin. Still holding Griffin. Good recovery. That's what you want to see. Look at the sweep, too. Such a perfect, it's so classic. Look at that sweep. Yeah, ARC also. So yeah, good recovery. And honestly, again, like the time to be fearful of things, like it was not after you just saw things go down like 60% in a few days to critical support levels. No FOMO. Treble was a good call. I bought it at 20 cents and made $100,000. Good call. Okay, good for you. There you go. That's what happens when you decide to go into things early. UFD also going up. slightly. Let's see. Forset, you got a Discord. Yeah, it's called the Crypto Empire Mastermind, and you can apply to it using the first link in the description in the, down below. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this live stream now. We've been live for an hour and 41 minutes, so it is time to wrap it up. We did talk about a lot today on stream, and I hope you guys all did enjoy it. If you did, you know what to do. Smash up the like button, and I do appreciate all of your support. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you all very soon. My name is Connor from Crypto Empire. Don't get too down on yourselves and negative with the price action, because, again, they're going to call us lucky in the future. There's been a lot of wins in the meantime. Treble swap, obviously the most recent one, launching at 12 cents, running up to 3.50, sitting at over $1 now. A lot of volatility to be expected on a new launch. So yeah, anyways, we talked about it in the stream. So if you're just tuning in now and wondering my take on things, be sure to watch the replay of this stream, okay? But anyways, that's all from me today. Have an amazing rest of your day. My name is Connor from Crypto Empire, and I'll see you